All right, I'm trying a couple of different camera angles. I want to do a quick video on this Friday, November the 12th, almost Thanksgiving. Well, not quite. I don't think this is gonna work. While I have this stupid hat on, this hat is really quite effective when you're doing work on computers, which I was just doing. And I was watching a video about these people losing money. Let me turn this off. Losing money on trading, like this video here. And I was thinking, like, these people play with a lot of money. There's a lot of videos here about that too. Well, not a lot. There's probably more than I got up here. Here's another one where I quit day trading. Here's another one where I quit day trading. My stock market addiction. What else is on here? Then you got some lies about how I made millions on Shibu and whatever. A lot of these guys just flat out lying. But I want to talk about the beginners like myself and these people, and why they quit, or why they choose, to me, the wrong strategy. To me, the easiest strategy to use excuse me, the easiest strategy to use is cash secured put, covered calls, and the wheel strategy. And I'm finding out maybe even leaps. But this guy makes some really good points. You know, check his video out, why he quit day trading. What I can tell, he lost a lot of money. I mean, he doesn't mention it, but when you quit like this, when you stop, it's because you lost a lot of money. Or you lost more money than you wanted to lose. Might not have been a lot, might have been more than he was willing to lose or give up. But I think, to me, a good beginning strategy. Now, it takes a lot of money, but I think this is the way, for me, if you're able to get the money, this is probably the easiest strategy for a new person to learn. And I know the only drawback is you don't have the money. But I mean, these guys are playing with, thousands and thousands of dollars. This guy's a regular working guy. He talk about his job and, the money. And you really can do it, but you shouldn't be day trading unless you make a lot of money at your job. It doesn't sound like he made a lot of money at his job. These people are actually they're retail investors trying to work, take some money from their job, put it to day trading, lose that, no. I would say, and this is just something I learned recently, because I've lost some money doing naked trades, naked options, but I'm kind of risk adverse. I don't YOLO stuff. I mean, and I don't day trade. So the losses I was having were stuff that I didn't mind losing. 1,000 here, 2,000 there. And most of those losses, by my calculations, was money I had already won. I hate to talk about it in gambling terms, but that's pretty much what it is. So it was money I had already won in my book. But the best strategy to use, to me, cash secured puts, covered calls. They're easy to learn. You need a lot of money. There's no lie about that. But you could do this with $5,000, $10,000 to start out. But you're going to be playing stocks that are kind of risky. The ideal amount of money to have is $15,000 to $25,000. And you can start playing with stuff like, AMD, Fastly. $5,000 you can play with Fastly. It's okay. I mean, it's not a stock I want to have, but the premiums are nice. But you can do it with that kind of stock to get this income that I'm going to show you here, that I've been getting. So basically, with that kind of money, let's say if you had $5,000, right? And you could be selling, in some cases, anywhere from what, 90, if you look at Fastly here, I've sold, wow, it's $189. This is a covered call, $91 covered call, $104 covered call. So you get this money, right? You get this money on a weekly basis, and in this case, I've done these many, it looks like, in less than a week. Now that's the 4th. This was the 10th, and this is the 12th. This is a buyback here. Well, see, that was the 9th, and then there's one on the 12th, so that's $200 something in a week. But you get this weekly money, and you do these cash secured puts, and you collect that money weekly, right? You can then take that money after you've been doing this for a while. I don't know, let's say 6 months. It's 6 months you can do this, and this is the stuff I'm doing with minimum knowledge, minimum research. Like, I'm not spending hours and hours researching these stocks. I'm looking for stocks that well known in certain industries, pretty much in any industry, but I'm using certain industries, mostly tech. And these are stocks that they're pretty solid, and they don't really move a whole lot. They move enough to where that you can get some decent premiums out of it. But let's say if you did that, like all these people that I've just shown you here, that they quit doing trading. And let's say if they would have took the money, let's say if they lost $15,000, $20,000, that's probably somewhere in the range of what they lost, you know, over time. If you did it for a year, it's probably gonna be more than that, but I'm being real conservative. So if you took that same $15,000 to $20,000 and you started buying, if you'd have been buying cash secured puts on AMD, Microsoft, Fastly, see, you could have bought some on the Firm, Apple, what else? A Firm, I don't know if that's really a solid one, but I'll throw it in there. Let's see, I said AMD. You could have been buying stocks. These stocks are in the $148 range, which means it's about $14,000 to do. But let's say they've been playing with $15,000, they lost it. They could have been doing this for 6 months. And let's say they earned, my average here, it's about $1,000 a month. Just this month alone, this is the 12th, and I'm already at $929. My total for the year is $684. And remember, I just started doing this in March, $6,864. So you could basically take that $15,000, and if you're aggressive, you could probably double that in 6 months, to be honest with you. I could probably easily make $2,000 a month doing this. That's realistic. If you're a real hustler and you know, you kind of put a little more energy into it than I do. A lot less energy than day trading. But you could have did something like this, and you could have basically doubled your money, then took that money, and if you want to day trade with it, more riskier stuff, you could have did that. I don't know, I just see that, I don't know the psychology behind it. I guess it's like, you know, want to get rich quick. But to me, slow and steady, if I do, it's no if, I'm gonna do this all next year, right? This is my learning year. And my learning year, I definitely, I definitely made some mistakes. But even with the mistakes, right? Even with the mistakes, I'm still $6,000 or so up. Just to be accurate, 6,864 up. But look at the mistakes I made. Like last month, buying back Nvidia and selling Nvidia at $218, and Nvidia popping up to $302. Which if you look at my last video, that was $9,000 I missed out on. That was a mistake. But again, it's a mistake where my account didn't blow up. I still made money, and I'm still in the game. I'm not sitting here upset that, you know, I got to get out the game because I done used up all my money. I done blew up my account. That's a huge mistake. Missing out on $9 grand. Even if it would have went the other way. Let's say if I would have held Nvidia and Nvidia would have went the other way. It went down 90 bucks. So I'd have been $9,000 down. Well, technically I would have only been $3,000 or so down, because I done made money. And then I could have sold covered calls and cash secured puts on that stock, because I would have had 100 shares. It's just different ways that you can do this without blowing up your account. It's all about learning if you really want to stay in the game, you got to learn a strategy that's consistent. And I'm stealing somebody's information here, but not exactly. It's repeatable and it's profitable. This is consistent, it's repeatable, and it's profitable. It's not YOLO money. You're probably not finna make $20 million like you do crypto. But let's say if you save this up for 6 months, earning about $2,000 a year. I mean, because if you're gonna gamble with something like that, take that money and put it in something like this using the wheel. Get you $2,000-3,000 a month, because I mean you're a risk taker, so you can probably do that. Maybe even a week if you're a real risk taker and you got about 50 grand. Do this, double your money in 6 months to a year, and take that money and just YOLO the hell out of it. But you still got your base. You still got what you came with. You know, you gonna leave the party with what you came with. To me, it's real simple. I mean, I'm not a smart guy, but to me, it seems like if you're gonna come into this game, you know, you're a new beginner, don't come in with day trading. That's why they said 90% of traders lose money. Day trading, you flipping the coin. You're betting that, you know, this stock is gonna do this, and you might be using stocks that's, you know, low, you know, 1 cent, 5 cents, $5, whatever. But you risking $10,000. I just try to understand the logic. The logic doesn't make sense. I wouldn't come into doing this day trading. I would come into this investing thing learning this strategy, learning the wheel and going slow. Because I mean, a lot of these people come in with, you know, $5, $10, $15, $20,000. They do. That's kind of what they're playing with. And if you're playing with that kind of money, that puts you in the game for Fastly, AMD, any stock that's $150 or less. If you got 15,000, 16, it goes like that: 16,000, $160 or less. You playing with stocks in that range, and what you do is you can adjust accordingly, right? If you want to play, you know, AMD with $14,000, that wouldn't be a good. This week is over with, so we can't count that. But let's say you $14,000 with AMD, right? And you want to take a risk that it's not going to hit. If you're doing a cash secured put, it's not going to hit $144 by next Friday. You say, okay, it's not going to do that. I want to play $258. You collect $258. If it doesn't hit that, you just keep doing that. And you keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And I got an appointment here. And just keep doing it. To me, it's just common sense, man. You can't have that get rich quick mentality in the stock market. Very few people do that. And it's just pure luck that they do that. That the AMC guy, the GME guy, those guys made me. It's just pure luck. They were gambling. You know, they played the game and they won. I mean, you can do that. But I think if you want to stay in the game, this strategy here keeps you in the game. This strategy here, if you run it a year or so and you really hustle, and you got the kind of money that these guys be playing with, some people 100,000, 200,000. You play with that money doing this for a year, you can YOLO the hell out of your profits and still have your base. I'm kind of dumbfounded why people wouldn't do this. I mean, there's risk with all of this, but this is probably the lowest risk and the easiest strategy for you to learn. If you plan, you know, the kind of money that these people are playing with, you know. Now, if you only got a couple $1,000s, I say just buy a stock and hold. Dollar cost average your stock, your purchases. But if you're trying to come in here and YOLO something, don't YOLO that money. Take that money, do this for a year, get your numbers up to 1,000 a week. That's $5,000 a month, right? 6 months, you got what, 30 grand? My math wrong there? Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. You got a lot of damn money if you can get $1,000 a week. And it's not hard to do $1,000 a week if you have the kind of money that these people have been YOLOing with. 70 grand, I see them with 150 grand, 200,000-300,000, they YOLOing it and losing it. It's just dumb. It's just really, really dumb. When you can do this with that money, build up your little nest egg, you know, build up your seed money, then go out there and YOLO the hell out of it. Put it in crypto, Ethereum, whatever. The most risky stock you can, because you still got your base. Am I stupid? Am I saying something wrong? What is the logic wrong in what I'm thinking here? Because I would do this, but I would never YOLO it. I just keep doing this. You know, you keep stacking it. I think once you get enough profit, it does become unwieldy. I mean, if you're doing this with $1 million, kind of what's the point then, you know? Because, I mean, you could be doing $10,000 a week doing this easily with that kind of money. I mean, if you look at Tesla alone, if you could do Tesla cash secured puts and covered calls, right? Let's see. If you balling and you got 102,000, what's it? $102,000. This is $3,000 a week. This is $3,000 a week. You know, $12,000 a month. Just doing Tesla covered calls or cash secured puts. What's the cash secured put? This is you can bet that Tesla ain't gonna get to $1,050. I wouldn't. It probably would. I mean, but even if you did, you get a sign and you still put $3,100 in your pocket. You get a sign and you come over here and bet against it and just keep doing it. I don't get it. If I had 100 grand to play with like this, I would probably do this. But I mean, I guess if you get so much money, then unless you're doing this for fun, you know, if you sit on $1 million, you probably ain't really caring about doing this. I would, but you know, rich people probably don't do this shit. But I'm talking about us working people. You know, you can keep building your account up to it. You have a nice, decent amount of money where you can play these. This could be your job. You talking about a day job? Shit. I mean, so what? You don't make $60,000 on a pop. You make $3,000 a week. $3,000 a week? That's a problem? You can't do that? day trading to me is just dumb. You know, and I ain't knocking day traders. I'm really not, because I know it's a psychology behind it, and it's something here and here that makes them want to do that. You know, it's a lot of them. It's not just the money; it's the challenge. But for the new people getting into this game, this day trading shit is just that's not the way to go in. And that's just my opinion. It's not the way to go in. You need to go in with doing something that's gonna put you some solid money. I've been trying to tell my friends that are doing naked options, you know, I mean, you lose $5, $6, $9, $10,000 doing naked options, you know, and I don't want to be the dead horse. It's already dead. I mean, I'm sure if you look at this video, you see the logic. You know, if you paying, if I say you know one more time, stop the shit on myself. You know, yeah. But to the new people, to the people that watch my stuff, and I know a lot of y'all don't have nowhere near this kind of money, 14, 15,000. You might, but again, you ain't got it enough to where you want to risk it, which to me that makes sense. But if you are trying to consider YOLOing some money, or you've been doing stocks and you've been doing good and you've made some money, you know, thousands of dollars, and you're thinking about YOLOing it, develop a strategy like this first and then think about yo-yoing it. My goal is a simple $1,000 a month. You know, some months I don't make it, but a lot of months I do. You know, to the tune of $6,000 in profit. Now, you don't see that in my account, because earlier when I was doing these naked options, this shit wasn't working out. I mean, because I would be taking these profits, right, and doing naked options. That's done. I don't mess with those no more. Only way I do a naked option is I absolutely know that it's gonna rise. And you don't absolutely know it's gonna rise or go down, so I don't do them. Just that simple. Stick with this strategy. And another strategy that's pretty solid, that I'm just starting to learn, is leaps. And you can look up leaps. It's some kind of long-term equity, somewhere or other. But I'm doing one on Ford. I did a cheap one on Ford, $700 some, right? It's a long-term option call, not expiring till, you can see here, January 20, 2023. I did Ford because one, it was cheap. These are more expensive than naked options big time, but it's equivalent to owning like 100 shares. And all I'm doing is I'm letting it ride out. I will not cancel this. If it loses, it loses. But as long as Ford goes up, it's gonna go up. And the delta on this is like $86, meaning that every $1 it go up, I hate you. Every $1 that it goes up, this goes up 80 something bucks. And then the theta, the time decay on it, is like maybe $3. Let me see if that's still the same, because it changes, of course. See, theta is -19, the delta is 86. So basically, it's all things being equal, it's like what, 20, that's 20 cents. Yeah, that's 20 cents a day to have this open. And if it goes up, it's $84.95 a day. I mean, for every dollar, every point. That's a winner to me. And if I would have did AMD, this is one too I did with AMD. Its delta is $71.70. Its theta is $3. But if I would have actually did it, I didn't do this because it would have cost me what, $5,400 or something like that. It was a lot, and I didn't want to have that sitting there. But I'd be up $680 on it, on AMD. And if I would have bought this when AMD did its amazing parabolic shoot through the roof, I missed out on $9,000 move. I wouldn't have this now. I would have cashed it out because this probably would have been quite a bit of money. I mean, if you do, let's see, it moved up 90 points, right? So if you do, let's see, 90 times 71, it'll have been up 6,300 bucks. Probably can't see that, but, and I probably would have cashed that out. I took that 6,000. But that would have been 6,000 plus 9,000. That'd have been like, oh my God. Anyway, I'm out. Gotta go to an appointment. Peace.